Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We're going to be right back with this week's guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. Now, stay with us. It's only going to be 3 minutes. These are all companies that I used as an athletic director. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. So, stick around for our shout outs, then listen to our Wednesday Wisdom segment, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to say thanks to our good friends at Gipper for their support of the podcast. Go to Gipper.com. Let their team turn you into a social media marketing guru. Promote your teams, promote your athletes, promote your entire program with graphics, text, videos, all on social media. It's Gipper.com. And as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. We also want to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. You've heard me say before, probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com to get started. We also want to thank Hometown. Hometown continues to change the game with their unique solutions that include things like, digital ticketing, of course, but how about fee-free fundraising, athletic website construction. The list just goes on and on. Whether you're an AD, coach, even a principal, Hometown is going to help you save time. It's going to raise you more money, and it's going to bring your community together. That's hometown.com. And as always, please mention the podcast. Let's go and also say thanks to our good friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. As an AD, we were a Huddle school, and our coaches, our student athletes, even our parents just love the platform. Go to huddle.com. Join the 100 million users. Turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to thank Beacon Creative Wall of Fame. They used to be Vital Signs Wall of Fame, and they help schools bring their legacy to life for the past decade. But Beacon Creative adds a twist. It's a creative content service that's going to take your data, your student data, team data, etc., and come up with compelling stories that you can then load onto your digital platforms. And other than supplying the data, you don't have to lift a finger. I want you to email John Townsend at John, that's John, at beaconwalloffame.com. You're going to be glad you did. We also want to thank Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program, and while they were earning their degree, they also completed 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. You just can't beat that. Check out Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. We want to say thank you to Athletic Surveys. If you've never used a survey to take the pulse of your student athletes, your coaches, how about your parents, you're really missing out. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that allows you to get connected with your stakeholders. It's going to help you take your athletic program from good to great. athleticsurveys.com. Home Campus is one of those platforms that you're going to use every day. Scheduling, rosters, results, facilities. Their athletic eligibility and clearance platform alone is a game changer. Go to homecampus.com to find out all the things they can do for you and your program. And as always, don't forget to mention the podcast. And finally, we want to say thanks to Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. We used it at our school with our teams and had tremendous success, and so will you. Check out their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it, and it's Snap Raise. And as always, tell them you heard about it on the Educational AD Podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast. We're welcoming a new Wednesday Wisdom team member. Regular listeners of the podcast will certainly recognize the name Tiffiny Pippins. If not, go back and listen to her segment in our podcast archives. Tiffiny is a certified athletic administrator. She's the director of athletics for Elite Scholars Academy. That's up in Georgia. Tiffiny was a member of our small school athletic director team, if you will, that came up. We came up with the book, Small School Athletic Director, a little over a year ago. Tremendous background in athletics as a teacher, as a coach, and as a leader. And we're excited to welcome her to our Wednesday Wisdom team. Tiffiny Pippins, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. And it's a great pleasure to be back to join in to provide with some Wednesday wisdom. Feels great.
Well, you and I were talking before. I love your topic. I'm going to kind of get out of the way and just ask, what do you have for our listeners on this segment of Wednesday Wisdom?
Well, I want to share with the fellow ADs the importance of cultivating a positive coaching climate. You know, we want to have strong programs, and the foundations of our program starts with our coaching staff. So for me, a strong athletic program is built on trust, teamwork, and shared purpose. So as ADs, we must look at how do we do that and build that unified relationship amongst our coaches. And one key takeaway I want you to know is the first thing you can do is always communicate with clarity, consistency, and be transparent. You don't want to lead people into the wrong direction. You want to communicate clearly so that there's no confusion. And it also helps to build confidence amongst your coaches. So if you do those things will help you to cultivate a positive coaching climate. Also, celebrate your coaches. Recognize your coaches. We always celebrate when we get team wins or make team accomplishments, but it's important to celebrate your coaches. Like post your coaches' accomplishments on social media. Email the faculty and staff when they do great things, whether it's on the court or off the court, just as we do the kids. Highlight their successes, big wins, and anything that they do behind the scenes. For example, I have a phenomenal track and field coach, but she's also science teacher of the year. But she's our coach. And I like to think that part of that came because we have this great culture and we support her. And that's why she's able to do well as a science teacher. So celebrate and recognize your coaches just as you do your athletes, because they want to feel the love too. They want to feel the warmth and the support as well. Also, promote collaboration amongst or across your sports. It's important for coaches to work with each other and they understand. So what I did here at Elite is I created coaching buddies. So when I paired my coaches, I have fall coaches paired with spring coaches. So these coaches probably wouldn't normally interact, but because that's their buddy, they tend to take part in supporting their fellow coaches out at their coaching events. And I always say, if you got a question, go to your buddy before you come to me. So when they come to me, I was like, did you ask your buddy? And then they're like, oh, wait, I'll come back. And they do that. And so it builds a culture around us being as one and unified. And so I might see off-season coaches at different games and they're like, I'm here supporting my coach, or it's senior night, so I'm helping my coaches with their gifts or things that they're giving, because everybody buys in and they buy into that shared idea and best practice. And remember, we want everything to stay positive. Even in celebration and also going back to celebrating and recognizing your coach, I started this thing this year called a coach giving. You know, we do Thanksgiving, you have Friendsgiving, but we have coach giving. So all of the coaches, we came together, we ate, we played holiday games, we did gift exchange games, but all of those are things that I feel that are necessary to build the camaraderie and to create a positive coaching climate within your school. And people always ask, Coach, Well, your coaches will do anything. And I think the primary thing for them being willing to do and support one another is the climate that we are building. And I feel, again, as I said, it's imperative to keep our coaches unified because you can have a unified culture. And remember that we all are one. So those are just some tidbits or things that I feel like you all as AD can keep in your toolbox and pull them out. And remember that cultivating your positive coaching climate builds that strong athletic program.
Well, you probably saw me scribbling down some notes there. I love your ideas, and as you and I were talking before, it's so important to have your coaches on the same page, on your page as an AD.
Right.
Otherwise, parents and kids are getting mixed messages. Uh, and I love just the whole concept and kind of the value added. It not only helps the coaches, but I mean, it makes for a more positive experience on their part. And you know this. The only thing more difficult than finding a coach is
Right.
keeping a coach. And so for
Definitely.
coach retention, I can see that these things collectively could really have an impact on your coach retention.
Yes, and it does. And even we even have found like outside people who don't. Well, how can I get on a coaching staff? Because they see the things that we're doing together. Or we even dressed alike. We taking group pictures and they're like, the coaching staff have had a whole photo shoot and they trying to be on the inside on the winning team, as we say. But it does. It builds the camaraderie because people call and say, well, I know you got a coach over there coaching your middle school sport because I have 6 through 12, but you think they want to do it? My coach is like, I'm bought into the elite way. And there is nothing that you can offer me that is better than what I'm getting here. So
Mhm.
I like my coaches to stand out like, yeah, see, my coach not going anywhere. They're going to stay here.
You also mentioned, having coaches, creating kind of a family environment, that collaboration, which I think small schools, by
Mhm.
necessity, but they end up doing such a better job than maybe bigger schools because you are dealing with fewer athletes. You're
Mhm.
sharing athletes from team to team, and I think when the student athletes see the coaches getting along and having that idea of sharing athletes, it's just infectious. At some schools, big or small, you have
Right.
that coach that takes that attitude. Well, these are my athletes. I don't want them playing other sports. I want a year-round program. We all know that playing multiple sports is better for the kids. It's better for the teams. And so having coaches that actually like each other and get along well and work well
Yes.
together, again, it has that synergistic effect. Am I on base with that
You
observation?
are definitely on base with that because it provides, because as you said, we share all of our athletes. So one coach got to talk to the other coach because we trying to figure out what works best for their athlete, not trying to get them burnt out because they on top of us being an academic school here at Elite, they're doing their academics and they might, for example, I have flag football that runs into basketball. So those girls on the basketball team also play flag football. So we got to work together to come up with a common set plan for that child in order for that athlete to be. And that is so correct. And when they see, as you said, the coaches at the other events and see their coaches supporting the other coaches, it's a big deal because you got your basketball coaches, but behind them, you got those flag football coaches cheering everybody on because those are still their athletes and they want them to be successful just as well.
Now, you mentioned right off the top that your track and field coach is, the science teacher of the
Mhm.
year. I've always felt that, great teachers can be great coaches, and great coaches can be great teachers. Um, was your track coach? Were they? Did they come to you as a coach? Did they come to your school as a coach, or did it come to you as a teacher? Which one was first, or was it just simultaneous? I guess my point is, there's probably for all of the listeners, there's probably a great coach in your school teaching
Mhm.
something that you haven't gotten involved with your program. So, how did that work out for you?
So, unfortunately, that coach was already here as a teacher. However, when I need new coaches and I'm trying to encourage people to come out, I look at those teachers that have successful classrooms. Because typically a great teacher because that's what coaching is, teaching. And so they can break those things down into segments and find themselves like, hey, like I got a cheerleader coach this year. There's also a social studies teacher. She's the department chair. She has 100% pass rate, but she's a cheer coach this year. And so it has been able, things that she do in the classroom has trickled down into her organization and how she delivers information to and from the teacher, the athletes and their parents have made her to become a success and to be able to do stuff. So you're right. Great teachers can make great coaches.
Yeah, one of the best assistant coaches I ever had as a football coach actually came to me. I'd got hired as the AD and the head football, and we'd been out for a couple of weeks. And I guess some of the students had been talking to him. He taught history and Bible at the school we were at. He came to me and said, "Hey, I've been hearing good things. Is there any way I can be involved?" And he hadn't played football before, but we gave him a script. We said, "Okay, if
Mhm.
you say these things, if you do these things," and we worked with him. Nobody knew. They thought he was this great football coach. And he was, because his heart was in it. And we gave him the tools to be successful. And, again, he turned into be just one of the best assistant coaches I ever had.
And another example, if I have a media specialist on my staff, and at first she has a background in health and PE, but had never coached before. So I was able to buy her into the program. And I guess again, she saw the climate and the things that we were doing. And she was like, until you came, I would have never thought about coaching. So now she's an assistant flag football coach and an assistant track and field coach. And when I say she has bought in, she has truly bought in. She's constantly finding different grants and doing different things to help support the whole athletic program. And she can do that a lot from the media specialist standpoint, because she can see those things as they come through. And she has been indeed an asset and probably is at every game supporting everybody. And she was just once confined to the media center.
And just another example of those value added features when you get faculty members or staff members added to your athletic team. They're going to be some of your biggest allies with other faculty or with other students or parents, convincing them to get involved. Just great, great suggestions. Okay.
Two other key things that we can do as an athletic director in order to cultivate a positive coaching climate is also support the professional growth and the trust coaches to lead on their own. When I say support professional growth, I'm constantly saying, hey, you need to do some clinics to improve yourself. And not just as a coach, but things dealing with mental health, how to deal with keeping your mental capacity balanced along and family life and coaching at the same thing. At the same time, here in our county, this year we started doing a better way. So all of the coaches are responsible for completing those modules and upping their game on how to become a better coach and how to improve themselves as individually. So another thing that you can support your coaches is address conflict early. We got the buddy system, they working together, but conflict will be there. So what are the things that you can do? One big thing that I have to deal with, I'm in a small school. We have one gym. I have 5 basketball programs. I got 2 varsity teams, a JV team, and 2 middle school teams. So conflict is waiting to butt. When we gonna get on the floor? What time we gonna be on the floor? What do we do before if a team has a home game, but it's a practice day for us? So what I try to do, I sit down with my coaches. Hey, we're gonna make a plan of action before these things get here. And they listen to them. We get them together. I said, now these are the set plans. However, if you all communicate as one another and you all find something that is better, but this is your foundation. So it helps them. And most importantly, trust your coaches to lead. I always like to say, when you go to a professional to get a haircut, you don't tell the person who's cutting your hair how to cut hair, because that's not what you do. They are the professionals. So that basketball coach, I lean on them to be the professional. I'm helping, yes, I know, but you are the professional at this sport. You should know all the rule changes. You should know anything that you feel that I need to know to improve your program. I trust you. I'm putting that responsibility on you because you are considered the experts. So remember, support professional growth, continue to have them to do whatever they need to do to better themselves as coaches and address that conflict early. And as always, lead by example, be a positive role model.
You mentioned in their professional development. I think that's one thing that athletic directors love to do, but oftentimes you just don't get the chance to do it, either time constraints or financial limitations. What are some things that you've done at Elite Scholars in the area of professional development for your coaches?
So one thing, I take advantage of the free modules on NFHS Learn. So I assign different modules to them. Like this year, when they open up their Dragonfly account, they see like, coach, it has coaching mental health. Yes, that's a class that I want you to complete on NFHS Learn now. And so now they're doing it. I even added more courses. Everybody, the athletes required to do sportsmanship. The parents were required to do positive parenting in a school community. So I added to help. So did that in order to show them you don't have to pay for everything that you do to better yourself as coaches. Take advantages of these free things that you have and just continue to encourage them to go on, because I say, hey, this is an investment in yourself. This goes beyond and outside of our school doors. These are things you can take with you other places when you invest in your professional development. So it don't just stop here.
Oh, wow. Great stuff. And again, you're absolutely right. NFHS Learn, there are a number of courses that are fee-based, but there's a ton that are free. I just heard about a newer one on the female triad and, nutrition and hydration. Just great stuff. Tiffiny, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out and pick your brain a little bit more on this topic or just about anything, find out how you run your program at Elite Scholars. And listeners, I think you have a great resource here. What's the best way that they can connect with you?
Well, they can reach out to me at my email at Tiffiny, that's Tiffiny.Pippins, Pippins, at Clayton.K12.ga.us. Or you can always just log in and Google Elite Scholars Academy, and there will be a direct link to the athletic director, and you can find me there. And I'm also in the Georgia High School Athletic Directors Directory.
And Tiffany's also in the NIAAA membership portal information. Tiffiny, thanks as always for coming on the podcast. We're definitely going to get you back maybe later this spring for another nugget. All the best for the rest of your sports seasons. And thanks again for coming on.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. You're part of the team. For our listeners, we want to say thanks to you and remind you that we upload the Zoom recordings of all of our interviews to the Educational AD Podcast YouTube channel. We do Wednesday Wisdom just about every week, and just about every day we try to share stories and best practices from the world of athletics. So please come back and join us again on the next episode of the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Hey, before we go, of course, we want to acknowledge our sponsors one more time. Let's say thanks to Home Campus. As you've heard me say before, it's a platform you're going to use every single day. Go to homecampus.com. Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Ohio University and their online masters. Check out Ohio University. Hometown, digital ticketing, fundraising, website construction. Go to hometown.com. Beacon Creative Wall of Fame. They used to be Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Now it's Beacon Creative Wall of Fame. You really need to take a look at the services that they can offer you. Gipper.com, social media postings, newsletters. Go to Gipper.com. Don't forget to mention the podcast. Snap Raise, we used it at our school. Tremendous success. You'll have just as much success at your school. Go to snapraise.com. Huddle, I used it as a football coach. As an AD, we were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com. and athletic surveys. If you haven't used a survey for your kids, your coaches, your parents, you're really missing out. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on Wednesday Wisdom on the Educational AD Podcast.